All this week in the podcast, we are thinking about Youier productivity, or Youier get stuff done. Follows on last week, we had Reclaim Your Year Live. I should say at the outset, if you are here because you played along last week, I just want to thank you so much for playing. I had such a good time. It was great fun. And I really hope that you got as much from it as I did. I've had feedback I've had, people have found it helpful. That's really, really exciting to me. So yay! Now then, so following on from last week where we worked together to help you create goals that you actually want to get done in the second half of 2019. All this week, we're going to be thinking about how to actually get stuff done Youier style. I am your host, as ever, Elle Edwards, founder of the Faith and Business Playground, here with mentoring, accountability, and this podcast to help you embrace your inner weirdo, help you be Youier, so you can make Jesus CEO in your life and business. And I should say at the outset, and I'll be reminding you of this all this week, if you have been working on goals, things you want to get done in the second half of 2019, if you would like some support, some accountability, I have got you covered. If you go to faithandbusinessplayground.com/work with me, you've got two options I would invite you to look at. There's the League of Brilliance, which is my group mentoring and accountability offer, or you can also do this one-on-one with Rent a Boss. But both of those options are outlined for you on that page, faithandbusinessplayground.com/work with me. Anyway, moving on for today, let's crack on straight away. Now, my big reminder for you today, and if you've seen the title for this episode, you'll know what it is already. There are no hidden secrets in this one. It's all about working with your energy levels. Now, if you're a long-time listener, we have touched on this from time to time before. But when I was sitting down with my notebook and reflecting on all the really important points that needed to be hit when we thought about Youier productivity, I couldn't ignore this one, even though I've mentioned it before, because it's really important. Now, I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to offer myself by way of example, because I am quite high energy, and I do like to, I'm an activator. That's the reason why I'm so good at accountability, I guess. My question is always, right, well, that's great, but what's the next step? I'm about getting stuff done. However, I also have had to learn to work with my energy levels. So I noticed this really, really acutely in the lead up to Christmas. I batch recorded multiple episodes. I think it was something like 3 weeks worth of episodes of the podcast and the Mindset Minute as I was doing at the time. And I worked really hard in the lead up to Christmas, alongside all of the busy stuff that, that goes into that time of year. And afterwards, quite candidly, I was wiped. It's a good job that we had a holiday. It's a good job that everybody was sort of being quiet and doing Christmas stuff, because if you'd have needed me to do lots of really big things, I'm not sure my brain could have coped with that. And it's no accident to me, or no surprise to me, that in the Bible, we're told that God did his work in 6 days and then he rested. Now, I got to be quite honest, and I do like to be transparent. As much as I like to take the weekends off, and I don't do client work on the weekends, I am guilty probably too often on reflection, and this is something I'm working on, of using the weekend as a chance to get those fun projects done. So, for example, if one of my books needs tweaking, or the classic example of this is my goal-setting book, Happily Ever After. I wanted to rework a little bit of that. That kind of thing, I do it on the weekend, because the weekend is, because there's no client work, and because there's less to do, there's more freedom to do those fun projects. Similarly, I tend to find myself fiddling with my website at the weekend as well. So this is going to be a case where I'm advocating one thing, but having to acknowledge that it's not always easy. But there's a reason why we are given weekends. There's a reason why, God didn't go, never ending. There's a reason why he had the Jewish people, they had seasons and festivals. They had that downtime. And so the big takeaway and the big reminder for me and you in this episode is that we do need to work with our energy levels. But more than that, we need to work with our energy levels, but we also need to plan to have those downtimes. So it's all well and good saying, okay, I'm going to work with my energy levels. But then the danger there is then you trick yourself into thinking that your energy level is high all the time and that you never need to rest until at some point you burn out. That's the reality of what happens. Even the highest energy people I know, they'll go. At some point, they're going to burn out. As I'm saying that, Gary Vaynerchuk pops to my mind. Like hustle, I really cannot abide. I'm very anti-hustle. And he never seems to stop. Now, I would be really interested to know if he ever has downtime, because logically he's got to. I can't see how any person can go all the time. So I'm imagining, that's not even a correct word, imagining that even people who on the face of it appear to be, high energy all the time, they have to have moments where they step away. Now, in terms of making that Youier, Gary Vee is a classic example, because I don't know. I haven't spoken to him. I don't have him on. I don't have him on to text him. I can't ask him. But I would imagine that he would. My instinct is that he would say that actually, when he's stepping away, when he's with his family, that's his downtime. Or when he's, maybe in the back of a cab en route to somewhere, he switches off and recharges, and there's little boosts and there's little bits of time. So for him to take a whole day off, maybe that would be very much the opposite of him being Youier. And that's really the point as well, is there isn't a right or wrong answer to this. As you've heard me say before, there is no one size fits all. It's about being real about who you are and doing this stuff in a way that honors the person that God made you to be. And we've got to stop with the comparisons. We've got to stop with, oh, so-and-so does this, that, and that, and therefore I must too. No. I mean, I'm quite honest about the fact that I really am an early bird. I love it when I get woken up at 6:30, even at the weekend. Well, mostly. Maybe not always, but the weekends when I'm excited about fiddling with my website, for example, I actually get really quite excited when I get woken up at 6:30 by the dogs, because it means I get to go and play with the website. But for somebody who's not very good in the mornings, that would be their worst nightmare. And if you told my husband he has to wake up at 6:30 and do website stuff, he'd probably pull his own hair out. And the same is true for you as well. So we need to stop comparing. We need to be real about who it is that we are. And if we are somebody who errs on the side of going quite a lot, we also need to consider, well, maybe God is reminding us that it's okay to step back, and actually it would be good for us to take those scheduled breaks. I'm saying that quite slowly and with cautiously, because that's where I'm at. And it, like I say, it is a work in progress. I don't think any of us are ever really done. Just, becoming more of the people God made us to be, God helping us. But that's what I want for you from today's episode, is that reminder that you don't have to be anybody other than you. You only need to work with your energy levels. And if you're not sure, ask God. We are here with this podcast to help you make Jesus CEO in your life and your business. God is interested in all aspects of how you move through the world. And so if you're not sure, ask him, because he does know. And we're going to talk about this more later in the week, but I'm just mentioning it now because it's relevant. He does know what's best for you. He knows you even more than you know yourself. So if you're not sure, ask him. Okay. On that note, I'm going to bring this one to a close, because I want you to, if you want a little bit of homework, I want you to start thinking about it. What would it look like for you to work with your energy levels? And this is the absolute last point. I want to remind you as well, is it's a day by day and a week by week thing as well. You might have, like I quite often have, a couple of days where I get a lot done, and then I'll have a couple of days of a bit lighter as well. It's not as if we're going to be at a certain percentage level every single day. We have ebbs and flows. So it's about paying attention to those ebbs and flows and honoring them. And like I said at the start, if you would like some support and some help and some accountability, I would encourage you to go to faithandbusinessplayground.com/work with me. The League of Brilliance is theleagueofbrilliance.com. That's my group accountability and mentoring program. And rentaboss.uk is my one-on-one accountability service. I would love to, if you've got any questions about those, by all means, shoot me an email. Anyway, I shall be back tomorrow, and I look forward to catching up with you then. Take care. Bye-bye.